Hey guys, welcome to the final episode of Behind the Haunting.
Final for this season or just in general?
I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Hello, Benton.
Hello.
And we're joined by two very special guests for this final episode.
We are indeed.
We are joined by
Who
Mr.
need no introduction. Let's just...
We are joined by Mr. Luke Hunter.
Hey.
Who is James Hunter's evil half-brother. What?
Spoilers!
No, Luke Hunter plays Dan Cowell.
Deputy Dan. Don't call me Deputy.
And we're also joined by Isabella Barbieri.
Hello.
Who, of course, plays Abigail. And you've actually been interviewed before.
I have, yes. Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah. Luke's the first timer.
Oh, God. I'm terrified.
So, I guess first things first, how are you guys feeling all this time removed from us last having recorded, ignoring the fact we actually recorded today? I don't know, how are you feeling about like how the show's doing? Like, is it... Did you expect that it would just disappear? Did you think you'd never get called back for something like this? Or did you think we'd be here a year later recording a Christmas special?
I had faith in you, man.
Yeah.
I've got so much faith in you. Yeah, if you say it's gonna be 5 seasons, it's gonna be 5 seasons. I have all the faith in you.
And how's it been? Sort of, because I think both of you were new. This was your first voice acting thing, am I right? Or you done stuff
it was.
before?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And have you done more, like, since this, is that kind of, has voice acting become something you're more looking at? Or was it something you were always looking at and just hadn't had before? Or
I definitely think I've definitely applied for more voice acting jobs, and this has definitely helped me out in some stuff. And it's definitely helped me out getting, like, a voice reel together.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Wicked. So, let's talk about your characters. We'll pick on you first, Luke.
Oh, great, thank you.
You just happen to be
as in the show, picking on me.
Yeah, you just happen to be directly in our eye line.
I'll move out of your eye line.
So, I guess the first big thing, I guess we might as well announce it here, because we've known this for ages, but the audience don't know, is that you've been promoted to a main character from season 2.
Woohoo!
And you thanked us by moving to Australia.
Yes.
Yeah, ungrateful. Oops. We're going to have to get a sample of your voice and put it on Star Now and be like, anyone who can match this voice.
Oh my God, no, don't recast me, don't Frankenstein me.
I won't recast you. I'd never do that to you, man. As we said, I think we've told this story before, I think you're the only person we now didn't audition for.
Oh, did you guys? Did you audition? Did you send in like a tape?
Yep.
Yeah, like we wrote down
The rounds.
Oh no, Cheryl. We wrote Cheryl for Tess as well.
Did we?
Well, I did. You didn't know Tess.
Yeah.
But I wrote Cheryl for Tess and I wrote Dan for you.
Oh, thank you.
Mainly as a way of apologising for Candy Heart. Because you were one of the best parts of Candy Heart, and I feel bad that it's been, 2.5 years and that film still isn't finished being edited yet, which is my fault. But, yeah.
No, I'm extremely grateful and honoured about that.
So how do you feel about the way Dan... I can't even remember if we were recorded in chronological order with you. I don't suspect we probably did.
No, because we redid 2, and then he had to redo his lines for 4.
Yeah.
And then we changed an episode.
Well, if you can arrange it in your head, how do you feel about the way Dan has grown as a character over the first season?
I think I really enjoyed it. Because, I mean, he sort of came in and he was... he didn't feel as if he had as much to do as, like, James and Abby. And then, all of a sudden, there was, like, that big emotional... I don't know how much I can say, I don't know.
Yeah, this won't air until the whole first season's gone out.
Right, okay. So
yeah,
there's,
spoilers
like, this...
galore.
Just don't spoil the Christmas special.
Okay. There's, like, those big, like, huge emotional beats. I was amazed how, like, emotional it had to get just in voice acting. It felt like almost going to the dark side, or almost like stuff like that, and then coming back from that. I think there was just like such a... When you said we're doing this kind of thing, I didn't expect there to be such a huge emotional arc. I didn't expect you'd need me to act really well, and then I had to. And I was like, oh God, no.
Yeah, I really like one of my favourite scenes that we've done in this first season is at the end of The Signal, when me and you have that huge argument about whether it's moral to kill that guy or not. that was one of my as an actor, that was one of my favourite scenes to perform, and it was one of the first times that I really, because we had to record it piecemeal because of COVID. That was one of the first times. I think were all three of us in the room for that scene. I think, or was it just me and you?
I think it was just me. I
don't think I was.
I think it was just me and you for that one.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that made that argument was the highlight of the recording sessions for me because of that reason. Because it was like, oh, we're actually arguing here.
Yeah.
Like in person. It wasn't just like, okay, now this line. Now he's the line, now this line. It was in person, full weight of emotions in the room. Yeah,
it's so hard, and this is for both of you. It's really hard, isn't it, when you're doing it just on your own and just out of context?
Yep.
I remember reading when I was looking into like how they record audio for various things like animations and things like that. I remember watching an interview with, it was a voice actor who does video games, and he was saying like doing voice acting for that is the weirdest thing, because 9 times out of 10 the company making the game is probably Japanese, but they'll go and hire an American voice acting company to do the voice recordings. You get sent your lines and only your lines. The other characters' lines will be blanked out on the script. So you have literally no idea what energy level you're trying to match.
Oh God.
Which is why so many video games have terrible voice acting, because you're like, no one knows what they're doing here. Yeah. And I can't imagine doing it that way.
There was a game with a bunch of aliens in it, and the voice actors were playing the aliens, and none of them were told that they were playing aliens. So they're just doing straight just voices and coming out of alien mouths and stuff, and it's really, really jarring.
All right, take us to your leader. We come in peace.
Mansfield Aliens. That's a good show.
Oh, Aliens in Scunthorpe.
There you go, that's Haunted Season 3 sorted.
That's Preston's next book. So how about you, Isabella? Because obviously your character, unlike Dan, who obviously is, I think Dan's in 4 of the 8 episodes?
1, 2, 4, 6, and 8.
So you're in 5. There you go.
And you were intended to just be in 1, a little bit in 2, 4 and 8, and then we kind of, when we did a second pass, was like, these characters, there's way more to it.
I was just too good.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Just too good now.
We would have written you out if you were awful.
We have had, haven't we? We've had our first person who's a Dan and Abigail shipper.
Yes, and they said, no, their exact words were, Abigail's too good for Dan.
Oh, what the hell, man?
This was after you murdered someone,
Right,
she was like, it was like they clearly got good chemistry, but that she's too good for Dan right now, and he needs to be redeemed.
Oh no, I don't feel like I've been too redeemed.
This is our whole. Well, you take a bullet for her in the finale.
Fair point. Yeah. If that doesn't get the shippers going, then I don't know what will.
This is the whole point. This is our marketing strategy, because we've got some James and Abigail shippers.
That's
as well,
horrifying.
So we're gonna be like Team Jamie, Team James, Team Dan.
Can you remind me what the age difference is between them?
10 years.
Well, it's about 10 years, because James is 35, she's 25.
Okay.
Although
It's like Licorice Pizza.
That's a scary age difference in that.
Yeah.
A great film though. She's lying about her age as well. Sorry, I've just completely. Yeah. What? Oh fuck! Did I just spoil it for you?
How is
I
that a
haven't seen it
spoiler? You know
either.
the two. Wait, it's just an age difference between the two main romantic leads.
Okay.
But it's weird because it's like the other way
the
around.
main guy is 15, and then the girl he's after is 28.
Yeah.
But it's set in the 70s, so it's fine.
To be fair, it is a bit weird, because we've had some listeners who assumed James was as high as in his 60s, didn't they?
Yes.
And we're like,
That's because you call it like goggle and things like that.
But that's going to be revealed why. That's a plot twist in season 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how do you feel about how Abigail has moved from season 1, from episode 1 up to where we leave her in the finale?
Ooh, I think she's got a little bit more level-headed. I don't think she is as... Well, I still think she is get up and go, but not as much. She's not as impulsive, I think. I think she relies on James a little bit more than she did at the beginning.
Yeah.
To ground her.
And obviously, where we leave season 1, now Dan's joined the gang, they're going on the road together. Is that going to cause issues, do you think?
I think it will. Maybe a love triangle.
I mean, it's...
Yeah, how do you think she feels about Dan at the end of the first season? What's her feelings?
Oh, I don't think... I don't know.
Ouch.
To be fair, it's
I
been
think
like
there's still something there,
Mm.
but I don't know if Abigail's ready.
No, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think
What-
that's the main arc of 2 is all about the PTSD from the signal and all that, isn't it? So I
Yeah,
think
it deals with a
trauma.
lot of the after
Yeah.
effects of having been infected with the signal.
And there's a big reveal. Yeah, lots of big reveals.
Yeah, don't give them away.
No.
How was it? 'Cause
James dies.
Obviously, we can now. Obviously, now the audience have listened to all the episodes, so you got to do scenes where you were playing an evil version of yourself,
Oh yes.
didn't you? What was that like?
That was fun. That was very hard though. That was probably and being possessed I found
Yeah,
very hard, but very fun as well.
Yeah.
But that was the hardest bit.
tough on the throat.
Yes. Yeah.
Doing the growly voice.
Yeah.
There was about 10 minutes of pained sounds that you make around about that point.
Oh,
I think just growls
yes.
and grunts. And I was trying to, when I was doing all the sorting, all the files, just going through each track, being like, just why did we do so many? And what do I label this? Abigail grunt, Abigail groan, Abigail. And in the end, I think I just marked it as a bunch
Abigail
of fucking
groan.
Abigail sounds. It's just
Yeah.
anomalous, isn't it? It's like what we were doing with the Cala.
We can't say that because that's not here.
What we're doing with today, where they were doing just tons and tons and tons of sound effects and just kind of pick from it,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So was there anything that was different from when you took the job? Did it go as you expected? Was anything different to how you expected it would be doing audio drama, or?
Yeah, I think it was. It was definitely somehow darker and more emotional than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was going to be like I don't know why I thought it was going to be fun and breezy with you and your twisted mind. I should have known it was going to be corrupted and evil and like. But there's like so many funny and like exciting and compelling bits. It's a whole emotional rainbow.
Yeah, I think one thing we've noticed.
Very nice.
You can quote me.
Yeah.
Put that on the posters and shit.
I think one thing we've noticed is we sometimes have to consciously rein the comedy in, because I think our both mine and Benton's natural instinct is to go comedy with a lot of stuff, and it's really easy to when you're dealing with things like werefoxes and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you do that with a straight face?
What was the other thing you said earlier? We were like, we need to put that on your quote. Something you said.
I have no memory. I'm a tired boy.
You're under duress.
Help me, blink twice. Doesn't work.
So it must be weird for you guys, because it was recorded so piecemeal. There must be huge chunks of the story that you guys don't actually know, that you then hear for the first time when you listen to it. What's that like?
I mean, it's kind of like listening. Well, yeah, it's like listening to something. I guess it's not to be obvious, but it's listening to something you didn't make. Like it's to listening to something you weren't a part of somehow.
Yeah.
But you kind of have some pieces of the puzzle already. But I don't know, like one thing that we think probably has happened largely due to our failings as directors.
Drag me down with you.
Jesus.
Is there's some scenes I think some actors have found where they've come in and done a scene, and then when they've listened to the episode, they've been like, I did not realise that was the context of the scene.
Right, actually,
Oh, yeah.
I think sometimes you've been quite good with a lot of them.
Right.
Because the way we did it? The way we did it, I thought it could have gone so horribly off the tracks, like with different actors being at different
Yeah.
levels and stuff like that. And I think you gave us a lot of context for some stuff.
The main ones was with small roles that we had in like months apart, who would be one person was doing the scene intense and the other person was doing it somber. And in fact, that's the main reason we redid 2, was because we'd given you to be as depressed as fuck and everyone else to be as energetic as fuck. So you guys are, let's go, gang, and you're like, fine, let's go. Like you are, just it was really conflicting, wasn't it? So we kind of we built 2 from the ground up again.
Yeah. What was it like doing Peterson's death scene? Because you weren't in the room with Harry, who plays Peterson, were
Never
you?
met Peterson.
You've never met
I don't think I've ever met him. No.
Your
No.
character's best mate.
I love me some Peterson.
Yeah, what was that like, trying to do an emotional... Well, fun fact, I don't know if you actually know this, in the original version, that was you who died.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Originally, Dan Cowell died in the finale of season 1.
Oh, jeez.
But after we'd done the big argument scene in the pilot...
Oh, I
was
just
like,
nailed it so
I
well.
was
Oh,
like-
yes.
I was like, man, I really love working with Luke. And actually, I think it was whenever the first time us three did do a scene together.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
And I
doesn't
was
it?
like, oh, actually, there's a great trio here of people who probably shouldn't be friends but kind of are. So we swapped it, and poor Peterson got killed instead.
Good. Screw Peterson. If I get to live, yeah. But no, I think you gave like really good directing for that. Basically, of my memory of it was just you gave it the right emotional tone. And I think you gave me enough like space to do several takes. I think you didn't. Yeah, it didn't feel rushed or anything, which was quite nice. Yeah.
Which it can a lot on indie stuff, isn't it? Like, we find that, like, because there's never... On indie stuff, there's never enough budget and never enough time, is there?
No.
So, I mean, you remember Candy Heart?
I'll tell you what. Like, so I've done like big projects and I've been like a stand-in on like big projects and stuff, and the amount of time they get for just one shot is baffling. Like, I'll be sitting there thinking we could have filmed half a film in the time that it's taken to do one shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Aquaman 2, when they were doing that in London, wasn't it? And they shut down the entirety of the square. They brought in trailers. They brought in it must have been a 60-person team during COVID, mind you, to literally do a scene of them walking through.
Yeah.
It's baffling the money.
Yeah, the amount of
Yeah.
money that they wasted on shit like that.
I did a commercial at the beginning of the year, and I literally couldn't believe... Like, obviously I knew it was going to be a lot bigger than anything I'd done, but I literally walked on set and there's like 50 people in the crew. And I'm not joking, one guy's entire job is between each take, he gets a little cloth out and wipes the front of the lens. And you're like, for fuck's sake, the cameraman should do that himself. And it was a really interesting learning experience. And of course, I'm not saying I don't want to get more actual paying work, but I think I actually do prefer... I would rather be on a tight indie film and be busy all the time than... I mean, that commercial, I literally sat there for 9 hours, I think, before they're like, okay, it's time for your scene now.
Yeah.
It's a union thing as well. There's a lot of union shit where they're like, you have to be used for X amount of time, and you make sure to use this crew for X amount of time, so everyone's got to be used.
Yeah.
So you make it as laboured as possible. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, hands-on is just it's more
I
fun.
would,
to
don't
just
get me wrong, it nearly killed me, but I'd rather do Candy Heart again. But I mean, you remember fucking Candy, some of those days.
Yeah,
where
I
it's
love
like
that.
18 Oh yeah, it was brilliant, but like some of those 18-hour days.
Oh, you were dying, man. Yeah, we were all right. Like, the actors got to sit down occasionally. You were on your feet doing crazy stuff the entire 18 hours.
living on set was certainly an experience as well, where you go to bed in a room that's prepped to film and then wake up in it, and you just your life starts to blur with fiction.
Am I my character?
Like the Truman Show.
And you sleep for about 3 hours a day.
Yeah, but what sort of in terms of your guys' acting careers, the characters you're playing in this, are they fairly typical of the sorts of roles you usually play, or do you have a type that you tend to get? Like, I tend to be villains. Like, I don't know why I usually get cast as villains, either that or the fat funny guy, because I'm fat. Like, obviously. Do you get typecast like that, or is it not a problem for you?
I think Abigail is the typecast that I want to be cast in.
Right.
Because she's a little bit more obsessive and slightly nerdy about things, where I think I get cast more as the girl next door.
Right.
But I like Abigail. That's what I want to always be cast in.
Yeah.
Do you think it gives you like more range to do stuff with Abigail than with the typical roles you'd get?
I think so. She's just a little bit more... I don't know, I feel like I can have a lot more fun with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I guess it's kind of I get cast to play awkward a lot.
Right.
It's like very much awkwardy, a bit nerdy, a bit... anxious. I don't know if I'm just anxious a lot in like auditions and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we need this guy's anxious. But yeah, it's a lot of anxious, awkward. I kind of like Dan. I've never done a policeman.
Yeah.
So I like playing a policeman, and I like, even though it's audio, I like the action. I've never done action, so getting to like hunt down things.
Whoa.
That's
Candy Heart, there is an action scene where you come running in.
Oh,
You grab me and throw me, because, I was fucking blind. You carefully push me.
Push you to the side, not hurting me.
Not even out of shot, because I have to be caught, don't
I'll have to show you. It's the. Do you remember the scene in the garage?
Yeah.
Where the ghost comes to get Candy and you run in. It's just before you do.
Yeah,
the
I'm Batman.
Right?
I'm Batman. I remember this.
It
Of
is the
course.
funniest. I'm gonna have to send you the video.
Well, with
sometime.
Benton just like stood in the corner.
So Benton's mobility is super restricted. So he's really just a solid block of ghost. We'd filled the underneath of the cloak with smoke, so that every time he moved, smoke came out. That bit worked. That was cool. But then you run in, grab him, and you're like, I can't what your line is. It's sort of like, oh, I get off her or something like that. You grab him, you kind of gently push him, and then you can see Duncan catch him at the side, and it's so mortifying.
For me, it's just darkness. It's just everything is darkness. I could not see
That's
out that
indie
mask.
filmmaking. That's indie filmmaking right there.
Yeah.
But it's what was I going to say? It is weird about action, isn't it? Even though it's audio. Like, one of the things I like about doing James is, like, I mean, I'm never going to be an actor who does loads of fancy fight scenes, action scenes, things like that. But I kind of feel like I've done them now.
Yeah.
A little bit, even though I haven't.
You've cheated the system.
Yeah, it's just me in a room jumping up and down, being like,
Well, an explosion on film is that you've got to book, get a pyrotechnics guy, you've got to book a whole area off, you've got to make sure you go through all the health and safety things, stunt men, the whole 9 yards. With audio drama, you can have a building explode. It's just the sound effect. It's like, wow, it's great that we escaped that burning building.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole reason we decided to do it as an audio drama. Because
Yeah,
I originally envisaged it as a series and then realised that was ridiculously expensive. But yeah, so looking ahead to season 2, what sort of things would you like to see? Like, what creatures, what sort of situations would you like to see tackled in season 2?
I don't care about the creatures. I just want to argue with James. I just want to argue with you all the time. I want to take you down a peg.
So
That's what I want.
You do.
You do get to.
Excellent.
You do get to. We actually have an argument in the very first episode of season 2.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And I think that's like a huge part for your for all three of us really in season 2 is how does this relationship work? Because these people are almost perfectly designed to wind each other up.
Yes.
But yeah. Is there anything you particularly want to see?
I definitely am looking forward to the relationships between the three of us, and maybe also exploring Abigail's darker side a little bit more.
Yeah.
How dark can she be?
Excellent. I don't quite know how dark we're going to go with it yet. That's the fun bit.
She's a serial killer. Always has been.
Plot twist. She's been the. You know what? We did a little bit of asking around just before the big twist where it reveals you've got the signal, and we did ask around some people to ask if anyone had figured out the twist already. And one person, I thought she had, because she was like, "Yeah, I've got it," and she'd pointed out all the clues we'd dropped. I was like, "Oh shit, she has. She's figured it out." And then she went, Abigail's behind it all. She's the villain, isn't she? And I was like, oh, you are so close, but no.
That would have been a good twist.
Yeah, Abigail's behind it all. But I would have felt like that was ripping off Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which pulled that twist off already, where they took their main hero and it turned out he was the villain halfway through the first season.
Spoilers.
For a show that's 10 years old.
Spoilers.
Who cares? Do you guys have anything coming out or anything like I know, Luke, you've just had a film come out, haven't you, that's got really good reception from what I've heard.
Yeah, so a film I did which is a Shakespeare adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing called Much Ado, but set in like the modern day. So we're like a bunch of rugby lads coming back from a trip and we like stay at someone's house and fall in love with their daughters, and it's all a bit funny and sexy, and it's like a coming of age thing, but Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That opened the London Independent Film Festival. It got like fantastic reviews. It won Best Feature there. So yeah, that's doing its rounds at the moment at the film festivals. So look out for that. Much Ado by the Shakespeare Sisters. Yeah, the directors, their surname is Shakespeare.
Really?
Oh,
Which is really weird. It's like
nice.
serendipity. It's like they
Yeah.
had to make a Shakespeare film.
Do you know that he has no surviving heirs, Shakespeare?
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, he has
Wait, so where does the
heirs left.
surname come from?
Presumably, well, either
There
one,
was-
he had brothers.
Yeah, all right, okay, I see.
But I don't know. He himself has no surviving heirs.
Did he have kids? And then they just
Yeah,
the line
yeah.
died off. Ah. Facts with Benton.
Love a bit of Shakespeare.
Didn't you just do a film where you're a soldier as well? I thought I saw.
Oh God, yes. Promote things. Yeah, so that's. Oh, can I talk about this?
Oh, if you're not allowed.
I think.
To be
oh,
fair,
wait, this will be
won't air-
ages
This won't
away.
air till Halloween.
Yeah. So that's doing the festival, short film festival circuit. It's called The Soldier's Post, and it's like an LGBT set World War One story, which is very touching and heartfelt. But it's an incredibly emotional. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
They built like a whole trench bunker in this crazy warehouse in Birmingham, and like for indie filmmaking, it just looks gorgeous, and I couldn't be more proud of the team.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So
Wicked.
that's what I've got coming up. What about you?
Nice. I actually haven't got anything acting-wise coming up. I took a brief period of pause to apply for schools. I'm going back to school next year.
Oh, yeah.
That's my plan. So that's what's
Excellent.
coming up.
Where are you off to?
I'm going to Roehampton to do creative writing.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Where's Roehampton?
In Richmond.
Oh, sick.
In London.
Right. Okay.
Not the
so
northern
not
Richmond.
miles and miles
Oh, no,
away.
I didn't know there was another Richmond.
Neither did I.
I thought that was near. Yeah, it's in the north. You're vaguely.
I don't know geography. I know Mansfield. I know Southend. Somewhere there's a place called Glasgow, but I don't know. West, I think maybe.
Australia, you know,
Oh, yes.
basically opposite us.
Fucking hottest country in the world. Cool. Well, if the listeners want to catch up with you guys on, like, follow you on your social medias, do you have professional
I do.
Twitter pages and shit?
I don't have Twitter. I'm useless on Twitter. I have Twitter, but I'm so. Are you good
Yeah,
at Twitter?
no, I'm not good at Twitter.
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're having to use. Well, I say we. I'm having to use it now, and I hate it. I can't stand it.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know how
No.
it
What
works.
the fuck do you tweet? Well, it
What do you
push.
tweet? Yeah.
Yeah. What? What do you tweet?
I just look up when there's tube strikes and stuff. I just look up the things that.
Because apparently, like, we talked to a marketing person. They're like, you have to be tweeting like 5 times a day to be relevant.
Who
I
has
put-
this time?
Yeah, I've got like 5 different things to say. Eventually putting "listen to Haunted" gets boring.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do it every once in a while. I was like, please listen to Haunted. Anytime we get a 5-star review, I'll be like, in case you thought Haunted wasn't worth listening to.
Here's another
Oh, for
one.
real? Send me like screenshots of that, and I'll put that on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Because my agent's always like, you need to put more things on your Instagram. I'm the worst social media. I feel like such a boomer. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah,
Oh, no,
I'm
I
not,
hate
I'm not,
social media.
don't know how to do it.
Yeah. I hate it.
But here are my social medias.
Go ahead.
Instagram, Luke Hunter Actor. That's it. Oh, wait, no. And if you want to check out, I have a TikTok called Ya Boy News.
Oh my god.
Is that where you do your... Because I saw... You used to have a YouTube, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where you did little news sketches.
It is.
Do you now do those on TikTok instead?
They were originally from TikTok, and then I just had them on things. So, Ya Boy News, Y-A-H, Boy News, if you like satirical news.
Can it get more satirical than the current shit show?
I know, this is the
Yeah.
thing. Whilst doing the news, it's like impossible to find stories. I'm like looking at stories, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything I come up with is not as funny as
What's happening?
what's happening.
How about you, Isabella?
I actually am terrible with social media, so I don't have a professional social media page, which maybe is terrible, but
No, good.
I'm rebelling.
I'd love it if I'd legitimately love it if they banned everyone from just having social media pages. I think it would like level the playing field, especially
Yeah.
in like the creative industry. Because
They say it makes
Yeah.
more of a mystique not having it. If you're in high demand, there was an acting book I found where literally a woman said that the more I can't remember her name, but she said that the more unattainable you are, once you're actually popular, the more unattainable you
that's
are.
the problem with the level we're at right
it's
now.
that low level where you just can't be reached.
We need some demand for this
This
to
is
work.
the thing. It's that thing, isn't it, where everything's a double standard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where if you're just at our level and you don't have social media, like agents and things will be like, what do you mean you haven't got any social media, blah blah blah. I remember someone from Channel 4 fucking slagging me off because I didn't have social media at the time, and they were literally like, what do you mean you haven't got social media? Everyone's got social media.
Yeah, but I mean, like back in the old days as well, when you went to like interviews and that was your only connection to stars, the ones who never actually went on interviews got a certain mystique. Called, like,
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin famously went on like 3 interviews in their entire career, and everyone wanted to know. So people made stories about them doing witchcraft in their stuff like that. So it creates a mystique.
I mean, you couldn't imagine like Daniel Day-Lewis having an Instagram.
No,
He might do, for all I know.
Might, but I feel like just from where that was now, where stars seem like these unattainable sort of things, to you can now basically look up what Ed Sheeran's had for breakfast. It's kind of we're losing that mystique there.
I can't wait till we're at the level where we can get rid of social media and not worry that it'll destroy our careers getting rid of it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to implode. I kind of hope it'll implode in like 10 years or something. Basically,
I mean, to be fair, we've met lots of nice people on Twitter. Like the audio drama community is really supportive, but it's a cesspit. Like the slightest thing sets everyone off. Like the slightest thing, and no one bothers. Like I've noticed, no one bothers to get the full story. People hear something that may or may not even be true, and they all start sharing it, retweeting it, blowing up, kicking off. And you're like, if any of you actually checked if this is true yet?
Right, we're really starting to sound like boomers now, aren't we?
no.
These damn kids with their internet.
All right, my last thing on social media, because that's my social media. Right, I'd be so okay with it. I'd love it if they just got rid of like likes, followers, like if the counts, there was no numbers on it.
Yeah.
Like you followed an account, but you didn't see how many followers they had, or you didn't see how many subscribers they had, because then brands couldn't use you for like. It doesn't become a big money thing and stuff like that. It just becomes, if people are just sharing stuff they love, that's lovely. And connecting with people they love, that's lovely. But it's when you're like, you post a thing and it's like, how many likes has it got? Has it got more likes? Has it got another like? Do they like me?
I think it's what's contributing to the big rise in anxiety around teenagers.
Oh, hell
is
yeah.
social media.
Of course it is. I literally scroll through. This maybe says more about what kind of a jealous wanker I am. I guarantee you, I sit and scroll through my Facebook page right now. Guarantee you, I'll be spitting feathers within 10 minutes. Usually because I see people who I don't think are very deserving doing better than me, and it makes me want to kill myself.
Oh, God.
But
Luckily, no one.
Certain people who we both know.
Yeah. Luckily, no one I know's. No one's broken big yet. Like no one from school or anything like that has been like, so I just closed a £1 million deal or anything on Facebook. So it's like trying to be let's be the ones who break big first.
We can only dream.
Don't compare yourself to others.
Yeah.
That's the recipe for disaster, isn't it?
I for real have that written on my wall. I think it's
done.
quite sweet.
Yeah.
Got to remind yourself.
I have that. I think my gym is literally over the door.
That's so different to like pain is weakness leaving the body. That's like you go to like a wholesome gym rather than a screw you gym.
It makes sense though, because you never know if that guy's on roids or not, and you're like, damn, how?
I will sing the praises of my gym. So the gym I joined a new gym because I've.
Do you see how easy it is for us to just get off
Go
topic
into
and
gym.
talk about
Yeah.
Tell me this is cool though. So I moved house, so my old gym was too far away. So I joined a new gym because doctors were like, lose weight or else you're gonna die. Unfortunately, I'm not joking. And the gym I go to now is like a small family-owned gym. And don't get me wrong, their equipment is actually old, rickety, not great. But literally after one day of joining it, the owner knows my name. He says hello every time I go, and his pet bulldog wanders around.
Oh, that's quite
that's
sweet.
actually very nice.
Lift some weights, a little bulldog comes up, you're like, hello.
I've been worried about dropping my weights, but I know I've been a chain gym for 10 years, and I've had 3 conversations, I think, in the 10 years I've been there.
Oh yeah, every time I go, the guy's like, yep, Jamie.
Isn't that just a nice metaphor for the indie and the mass production? It's just there's more personality to it.
Yeah.
My gym membership once got cancelled because I'd go very early in the morning and I'd roll out of bed, and then I'd go in the evening as well. And when I had to go to university, I went to dance university, you'd have to wear a lot of makeup, and they cancelled my gym membership because they thought someone else in the morning was coming in to use it.
How different you look with makeup, my
That's the
God.
thing. I was like, I must have looked rough as hell rocking up. They cancelled. I had to go in and say, no, it's me. I can tell you what I was wearing, everything, it's me.
Oh, you got a gym story, Luke?
No, I got free weights at home, baby.
It's the way to rock it, man.
I was paying for my gym at uni for about 4 years after I left uni, and I finally checked my bank statement. I was like, what the fuck is this? I looked it up, and it was a gym in York, and I was like, for fuck's sake, I've probably bled so much.
Benton.
Yeah, I know, I'm a fucking idiot. We've officially gone off the rails.
Given what happened earlier with the mints.
Oh.
Anyway, I don't think I have any more acting-related questions. Do you?
No.
Do you guys have anything in particular you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
I'm good. I think I promoted myself and my projects. Oh, last promotion. I built a website for myself.
Oh.
www.luke-hunter.com. And it's the thing I'm most proud of in my life. So,
I'll check it out, man.
it's really sweet. I was like, I'm never going to be able to build a website. And then I built a website. So believe in yourself.
Yeah. For some reason in my head, I don't know why, I turned LukeHunter.com. I then was like, imagine if you go on that thinking it's someone's website, but it's actually for a guy who hunts down people.
You put like a slash instead of a dot.
Yeah.
It's on the dark web.
Oh, I was well known. I couldn't get LukeHunter.com. I had to get Luke-Hunter. The guy who owns Luke Hunter tried to sell me it for 400 quid.
That's what people do, though,
And I was
isn't it?
like,
They
oh,
buy
screw off.
domains
Oh.
that they never intend to use.
But then both my housemates have like, one of them's Jack Walker, the other one's Tom Morgan. Both their names are free.
Yeah.
No, Tom was 10 quid. And I was
Right.
like, what? Why is my name in
Yeah.
particular 400 quid?
We've discovered recently that there's another Impala Films.
Indonesia.
And
Oh, what?
The reason we discovered this was I keep getting emails in Indonesian, and I kept just binning them because I was like, this is clearly spam. I kept getting these emails and they just said like, in English they would say Dear Impala Films, and then the rest would be in Indonesian. So I kept deleting them, and then all of a sudden we start getting all these Facebook followers who are also Indonesian, and I'm like, oh, we're not marketing Haunted in Indonesia, but we have got some listeners in Indonesia, so
Noise.
I was like, maybe it's too bad, but it was loads, and we only got like 10 listeners in Indonesia. Anyway, I can't remember how I ended up finding it. Oh, that was it. Someone tagged us in something. That was it.
Ovation.
We went on the radio at Chelmsford a couple of weeks ago, and he tagged what he thought was us in the post. And it wasn't, it was the other Impala Films from Indonesia.
Put .id at the end of it.
Oh,
For
right.
the Indonesian domain. So.
Yeah.
And he was like, wait a minute.
So it turns out there's another Impala Films. Anyway, I think that brings us to a close. It's boiling hot. You guys need to get home. It's been lovely to see you all again.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely to have reached the end of the first chapter in this journey that will hopefully last 5 seasons. Goodbye.
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 Thank you. Goodbye.
Yes, thank you. And goodbye.
And goodbye and thank
Goodbye.
you. Goodbye.